Rick, you know mostly better than anybody, when the tarpon bite's on, it's on. But when it's off, they can be pretty finicky. So let's talk about some techniques to maybe get tarpon on the line.
There is a few tricks, Brie, that we want to talk about. But, first what I want to say is that, Hageman touched on it a little bit about etiquette.
Etiquette, yeah.
So what I want to tell you guys is, if your guys are fishing with bait or you're throwing lures, understand that there's no way that you can slide that bait or throw that lure in front of a school of fish that's in 5 to 6 feet of water. It's not possible. You're going to have to throw it so close to them that it's going to spook them. So you really don't have any business being there. I don't mean to piss you off, but I'm just going to tell it to you like it is.
Yes.
That's a place that you're going to let the fly guys get frustrated over there throwing all those fish in the clear water. Understand that if you go to the bridge in the Florida Keys, or you go into a channel like Government Cut, or you go into Boca Grande Pass, or any of the big river systems, the deeper the water, the more the relaxed the fish are going to be, which there are also going to be a whole lot more fish there, which is going to put you in a better chances to getting multiple hookups. Now, with that being said,
electronics, do they play a role?
They play a huge role. You have to understand that if you guys got 20 or 30 boats in one of these passes or in one of these channels, and everybody's got their electronics, their down side imaging and down imaging, and we're pinging off of them, it can irritate them and it can shut the bite off. It does it on the reefs for groupers and snappers, and why wouldn't it do it to a tarpon? All you got to do is reach over, disable your machine. You don't have to turn the machine off. You just disable the transducer, and if everybody will do that, that ticky, 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 that allows them to hear it, just like sometimes live well pumps can be irritating to them if they need to be replaced. Those are the things that can make a problem for you. Put your live well in a live well and run a bubbler where you're only making bubbles at the very bottom, and it aerates the whole water system all the way to the top. Your bait will be fine, and you're going to be a whole lot more stealth.
So bring your bullhorn and tell everyone to shut them off.
Exactly. Now, the other thing that happens, Brie, is so many times, guys, when we go to fish, our tackle is a huge part of it. I've all now changed to 8-foot Fenwick rods like this. The reason why I like 8 is whether I'm throwing a lure, whether I'm throwing a bait, it's gonna just cast that much further. I load it up with 40-pound diamond braid and on a Battle or on a Pin Authority, what my choice is. A 6,500, 8,000 size reel works real well. You're gonna want 40 to 60. Now, speaking of that,
I see different leader sizes, different lure sizes.
Correct.
Gonna downsize?
Correct. And again, guys, we're talking about fish that potentially can be pressured.
Right.
With that being said, that 60-pound is my kind of the leader that I like to start off with. Now, if there's a lot of big fish around and I'm fishing pinfish on an eagle claw circle hook, what I'm gonna do is I'll usually start with 60. Remember, if you got 60 on and you got a big fish and he come up and jump, you need to look to see if you see that lure on the outside of his face. Try to see where the hook is. You might want to change how hard you're pulling if you can't see your hook, because you're just going to help fray through the line. You're going to get more bites with 60 because your bait is going to be a lot more active. It's not as thick a line and it can be more active. Now, for you guys that are fly fishing, there's times, guys, where we have to go down to 30-pound test to get a bite.
Wow.
Well, guess what? That's really very, very light. However, guys, catching a tarpon starts when you get the bite, Brie.
Right.
And if you don't get the bites,
you get a bite.
That's correct. If you don't get the bites, guys, here's the problem. You're just going to be fishing for nothing. So go down to a smaller leader, take your chance. At least you have him on and you're gonna have some type of fun.
Right.
You can also, the same thing happens. If you throw in big lures in those rivers, or you're throwing the big lures off of the beach, you can throw these things a mile, you might have to go to a smaller size lure. And just remember that when you do that, you're gonna go to this size lure, and then you might even go down to even a smaller lure like so. If you're gonna be fly fishing, I'm gonna put these down real quick for a second. We start off with big flies like this when we're throwing a sinking line early in the morning at the bridge, but then we may have to go to a fly that's a little bit more sparse, even though it's the same length. But at times, we even gotta go these little bitty flies to get a bite. And remember, Elephants eat peanuts, guys, and it doesn't matter. They will certainly bite what our offering is.
Right, and when something's not working, you change it up.
Absolutely.
Right? So in addition to persistence and patience, and when you do get the bite, bowing.
Bow to the king.
Bow to the king.
She knows, guys.
Well,
she knows.
You know, learn from the best over here.
You know. And remember this, if you're picking lures, picking fly colors, darker the sky, darker the fly, meaning a dark fly early in the morning or late in the evening, and then a bright fly during a bright sky. So that's something like this. And if you have any other questions, send me an email. I'll do the best I can to help you.
There we go. Good job, Rick.
Hey, thank you.
It was a pleasure being over here with you.
You did a good job.
Thanks, so did you.